So today the presentation consists of 5 parts. The first one is about the price review in the first half, and the second part is about the Chinese economy performance in first half, and the third part is about the energy production, and the fourth part about the coal production and the import, and the last part is about the outlook of the coal demand in the second half. So I just choose 3 indexes to represent the price movement in the past 3 years. The first one is the Newcastle index, which was reported $125 last week, which is around 137% increase from the same period of last year. And the second part is the ICI 4 GR42 was reported $58.44. It's around 130% increase from the same period of last year. And last one is the CCI NER55, which is the FOB Qinhuangdao in north part of China. It was in 950 RMB, including the VAT, 13% VAT. Compared to FOB, it's almost $130, which is around 66% increase from the same period of last year. So the prices are all very firm enough, and the prices in like in a 10 years high level. So this one, the high price is driven by the very strong, very positive economy. So let's look at the main indicators of the Chinese economy. The GDP grew 18% in Q1, and the GDP is expected to grow in Q2 around 8.2% in China. And also the investment in the fixed assets increased around 20%, and in the secondary industry is around 21% increase. Those investment will definitely requires more energy. And also the import and export in the first 4 months increased around 34%, and with the import increase 38% and export increase around 30%. And the total consumption increased around 25%, which is around 14 trillion China yuan. And also the PMI, the manufacturing PMI was reported 51% in May. And this is also very strong and a positive sign of the Chinese economy. So all in all, the Chinese economy has fully recovered from the impact of the COVID-19 and even exceed the level before the pandemic. The strong economy will definitely requires more energy. Then let's look at the power generations. The total power generation was increased around 16% in the first 5 months. This is all the power generation. Then we'll break down, look at each kind of a source. So this one is the new energy, including the nuclear, solar, and wind energy. As you can see, every year the output of the new energy is increasing steadily, and the new energy power generation with 4.7 thousand trillion watt hour in the first 5 months. This is around like 28% increase from the same period of last year. This is very significant, but the new energy still takes a very small part of the total energy in China. Then let's look at the hydropower generation. The hydropower generation was around 3.7 thousand trillion watt, and in the first 5 months, with very slightly increase from last year. But the hydropower is going to its peak season from June, July, and August. And the next one is about the thermal coal power generation. So the output of the thermal coal power generation is around 24,000 trillion watt in the first 5 months. This is 16% increase from last year. This is a very significant increase because this is the main reason for the demand of the coal, and also the coal price increased so much. And also the peak season is not yet coming yet, and the peak season is basically in China is for the thermal coal power generation is July, August. And this one is about the Chinese domestic coal production. the output of coal is about 1.6 billion in the first 5 months. This is around 11% increase from the same period of last year. But in recently there are many frequent mining accidents. This will trigger more strict security check on the mining side. So the coal production is expected to slowing down. This is why, because the thermal coal demand is going to the high season, and also the more strict on the security checks. This will make enlarge the shortage of the coal supply in domestic China. And this one is around for the import coal. Till end of last month, the total import coal volume is around 111 million metric tons of coal. This declined about 25% from the same period of last year. The main reason is because of the ban on the Australian coal. There's zero coal from Australia, and also from Indonesia itself. We will say from next slide, Indonesia, China import around 56 million tons of thermal coal from Indonesia this in the first 5 months, and this around like 10% decline from the same period of last year. And Russia increased around like almost 30%, but Russia is only like 12 million. And for Philippines and Mongolia, the total volume is very small, so we didn't focus on that one. And you can see the Australian coal. Last year, China imported the thermal coal from Australia is around 42 million metric tons of coal. But this year, there will be definitely no cargo from Australia at all. This also will give more chances for Indonesian coal to export to China. This is why we expect that the control on the import coal will be eased for the coal originated from non-Australian, from outside of Australia. And this one is about the installed power generation capacity by end of April. The coal is still the major source of power generation in China. It accounts for 56%, and the increase around 4% from last year. And hydro accounts for 17% and increase around 4.2%. And the wind and solar energy is still minority, but increased very significantly, which is wind power capacity increased around like 35%, and the solar energy capacity increased around like 25%. And nuclear is the traditional energy is still relatively less increased. And by end of April this year, the total power capacity is around 22.2 trillion watts, which is around like almost 10% increase from the same period of last year. And this one is about the coal consumption by industries in 2021. So for electricity industry, the total consumption was expected to consume coal as much as 2.2 billion metric tons of coal, which is around 3% increase from last year. And from steel industry, it's around like 740 million, which is a 4.2% increase. And for the construction industry, still same with same level with last year, around 480 million. And the chemistry, around 300 million metric of coal consumption with a very slight increase. And for other industry, the total consumption of the coal will decline, but with very small proportion. So make a summary is like the Chinese GDP is projected, the whole year in 2021 is projected to grow by 8.5%, this according to the World Bank. And the coal energy is still dominant with a very slight increase. And Chinese coal production is slowing down, but I expect to catch up because of the relaxation on the security check after July, after the 100 years anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. We expect the the security check will be relaxed on the mining side. And also the new energy is still a minority, but going very fast, like the solar and the wind energy is going very fast, around like around 30% increase every year. And also for the last part is about the ban on the Australian coal will still carry on, but the import coal control will be eased for other regions like Indonesia, like from Russia, Philippines, and even South Africa. So that's my presentation. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.